Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Fuel Report. And here we are going to be interviewing Jacob White, or also known as the man, the myth, Cheapus, the captain of Overwatch.
So I'm really thankful for being here. Thanks, Mins. Thanks, Apollo, wherever you are. Yeah. I was really looking forward to doing this. So yeah, thanks for having me in, guys.
Of course, this is awesome to actually have you here on here. And I mean, Overwatch, your team has been doing phenomenal. Like, you guys have been just on a hot winning streak consistently, and there's looks for you guys to actually be on the playoffs. And
oh yeah, playoffs are guaranteed at this point. We're going 5-1. I just want to say I'm very proud of the team I've formed and how we've all developed and learned how to play around each other. And I couldn't ask for anybody better right now.
Oh,
yeah,
that's great. So it's a lovely thing to see for that, especially because being that type of captain of a role, that must be a little bit of a heavy weight to sort of take sometimes to make sure everyone is feeling uplifted and motivated. How do you kind of deal with it on a day-to-day basis?
I honestly think uplifting and motivating your team is probably the best thing you can do. You don't necessarily have to be good, if that makes sense, as a captain. You have to lift other people up so they can do good. That's the motto I go by. I want my players to be able to play the best they can first. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially taking on that type of captain role like that must have been pretty big. How did that kind of just fall into your lap all of a sudden for you to be captain?
Well, eventually, after a certain point last semester, nobody really wanted to take up the role. So I kind of just blindly took the role, not expecting what I was going to get into. But I feel like that's helped change me for the better. I've learned so many different strategies and worked with different kinds of personalities on my team. And I think I have no regrets, honestly.
Aw. I mean, you can't look down and disregard on that fact of taking a captain role. And you know what, I will even say, coming in and seeing you guys play together, the way that you just uplift the team, and even on streams as well. You were the one that was on camera, but all of a sudden you brought over a little spark and just threw him right to the chair so he could get on stream.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a beautiful dynamic to type of see onto that.
Yeah, honestly, I like to see my players happy. And for example, when you said Little Spark was off stream, he was the one who played. I feel like he should get the recognition, right? They may be considered subs, right? But they're still your players, right? They still make an impact. They still, you guys are a team. You form together, in my opinion, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And honestly, Overwatch has always been such the unique type of game with that, of having that in-game type of sub in, sub out for each sort of role. And it's interesting to see how you guys even keep up with that dynamic, and even you as yourself as a captain, you will sub yourself out. That's an interesting thing.
Yeah. So from what I've seen, I believe I'm actually one of the first captains to sub myself out so other members can play. I haven't really seen that from anybody else, but I feel like changing up the comps and everything, especially like you said, when Overwatch is a very dynamic game, I feel like having everybody play the best role they can, even if I as a captain can't play myself, I feel like if it benefits the team more, it's worth it.
Yeah,
yeah,
it really is. Because, I mean, you can kind of see how you were actually able to take this incredible role, I want to say. And you know what? It doesn't even really matter. It seems like whoever's out there playing, they're going to give it all their best out there. And
yeah.
Honestly, you kind of love to see that when out there for these type of esports teams. But I would like to go back a little bit into the past for your own self of how you actually kind of got introduced to esports.
Okay. Introduction to esports. I saw all these posters around Fanshawe, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm in a video game program, right? I like games. I've liked games since I was a kid, right? I was always like, oh, going pro would be so cool and everything, right? But I kind of kept that at the back of my head. But then, funny enough, the way I ended up getting onto the Overwatch varsity team in my first year was I actually woke up 10 minutes before the Overwatch tryouts. I was napping. I randomly woke up to a ping from one of the old captains that we're going to have a tryout. So I personally think that's a hilarious like origin story.
No way! Just all of a sudden, just wake up. Oh,
yeah, like it's like the universe like was like, get up, dude, like get going, lock in, right?
Time to show you who you are as a beautiful Overwatch player.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Look how you are now, the actual captain of the team.
It really feels weird, especially being like let on as like this little like, oh, this little like player, oh, this little baby, but he moves up to taking that position on a year later, right? It's definitely like an evolution, like a development in the stage of being like an esports player. You get more and more experience, right? And you're able to demonstrate that once you do take on a leading position, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So was there really anyone that kind of helped you a little bit to take over that captain role that you look up to a little bit?
Well, the way I lead, I kind of have to combine a bunch of different people in my life to find the leadership style I like, right? So one of the big people for me was my grandfather. He managed a bank. He's kind of taught me all these like team building things, which they may be considered cringe, but when you're going 5-1 and going to playoffs, it pays off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think another motivator was our old captain Matt, who did let me on when I was a very inexperienced player and gave me that chance to like grow and show me what like we have to offer. Oh. So he's in the back of the head, Thanks.
Yeah, like still little like wise words coming out from Matt here.
Yeah. I've taken like several captains' styles of playing, and I've kind of formed that, like I said, into my own development. I've kind of taken the way Matt used to calm like in the game, and I use that as like my main way, like, oh, clear comms, guys. Oh, if you need healing, say I need care, right? That's what I learned when I was like new as a player, and it's worked great since I've been teaching it to our new players, and like I said, it shows, right?
Yeah. And from like actually you from the past to even like now, did you stay as the same role in Overwatch itself?
Yeah, so I've been playing support since fall of 2022. I did take a season off to like have a break, right? But I focus towards the more like supportive roles because I don't know, they're really fun. I like the very like chaotic, like fast-paced characters, which is why like Lucio is my #1 pick in games, because I can just go like whoosh, 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 like ADHD all over the place. Where I don't really have to think about making space or like hitting shots, right? I kind of just have to work together and do my own thing, which is why I like that role a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And support, like,
yeah,
it seems like it is a bit of a heavier role to sort of take on for the Overwatch sort of team dynamic.
Oh yeah, no, definitely keeping people up are it's one heck of a time, definitely. But support is one of the, like in the meta right now, one of the what you could consider easier roles. I personally would consider tank the hardest role in my opinion, as like you have to know the most like game knowledge about it. So, but support's definitely like one of the easier to learn but hard to master positions.
Okay.
Which a massive skill ceiling is always, it's never going to be boring for you to improve on that kind of stuff.
Always have like areas that you can be like, oh, maybe I'll tweak on this next time.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe like even probably like on different type of maps, there might be a different style.
Yes. There's a bunch of different comps for different maps. So you really have to know what you're doing. You need to know like, hey, is this a poke map? Hey, is this a rush map? And then you have to develop your comps based on that, which what me and my team do is we, like I said, we sub on different players who are good at their respective characters, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how we roll.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think we'll dive into, because you were saying that you're into video game design.
Yes.
How did you kind of stumble upon it, actually your interest in getting into video game design?
Okay, so this is an interesting story. In high school, I was actually planning to go into software engineering.
What?
Yes, I planned on going to software engineering in high school because I really took on like, oh, I love the computers. I grew up playing video games, but I didn't really like know what software engineers did. So robotics kind of helped me push towards the more computer-ish side of things and like developing and like coding and all of that. But unfortunately, I did end up losing my robotics scholarship. So that kind of hit me hard during COVID. So I kind of learned how to, like, I learned the pipeline of creating games since, like I said, I've loved them since I was a kid. So I kind of learned that pipeline. And I'm like, I like this. This is cool. I'm going to go to school for this. Mm-hmm. And it was really hard trying to tell my parents about, like, what I'd be doing. Obviously, they understand now, but they were kind of like, they were like, at first. They were like, are you sure this is going to benefit you? But I truly love what I do. It's great. Couldn't ask for more.
Aww.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey, like, even though it was like starting of initial thought of software engineering, it kind of seems like it rolled to you on like where you're supposed to meant to be.
Exactly.
For that type of feeling. And it's great to sort of have that type of vision onto it. But I guess I'm curious though, like, how do you feel with like the use of like AI coming in now for it?
AI art. That is a very interesting topic. Okay, so AI art takes a bunch of different people's artwork, smashes it together, creates one piece, right? Mm-hmm. That is theft, in my opinion. I think AI art should be used as reference for something you want to do. I don't think you should be able to sell AI art, claim it's your art, right? I think you should be able to use that AI art as reference to make your own like creative work. Use it as your inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That does make the most sense because yeah, like it's just giving that starting point to be like, okay, this is maybe like a concept of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like more just like as a tool instead of actually saying, yeah, like here, this is the work I'm getting from it. And it does maybe seem like a scary thought that people think like it is taking over and it's going to take all of our jobs away. And I know like I have heard that a little bit from, especially over in the video game design area, but do you feel it's going to do something like that?
I feel honestly, 2D art's going to be dead in a few years. Of course, they're going to have to still have those creative minds, right? Thinking up these prompts and everything. And of course, there's still going to have to be people to draw, but not as many creative jobs in like the 2D art spheres going to work out for people.
Yeah. Probably there'll be so many like already concepts and styles that consistently just take from. That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But is there like a certain area you're hoping to get into afterwards for video game design?
Yeah, I've really taken on the likes of like sculpting, digitally sculpting characters or sculpting like armors. You kind of just start it with a circle, and then you can like stretch it and add on like mass to it, and you can create like a beautiful little like picture, beautiful little model, you know?
Oh, that's so neat. And like, then would this be like something that would be used for like the main character in the video games, or?
It's very like versatile. Like all your video game models, like R6, Apex, Rocket League, those were most likely all sculpted by people. And I think that has like very like long-term like job security, and I like doing it. So it works out perfectly for me.
Oh yeah, that's actually really nice to sort of hear that like you kind of go into those small details, because it's so interesting to see like the amount of work that can go behind just even some indie games that are going out there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think indie developers are honestly the way to go now. I think you should start out your experience in AAA and then move your way to indie. I think that's like the long-term strat. I think that's how you'd go about.
Is it just pretty tough to get into?
Oh my God, yes. It's very tough to get into AAA because you have thousands of others competing against you. It's not like regular jobs, because regular jobs, right, you type out stuff or you make like an article, right? But you have like hundreds of thousands of people that you are competing with who are also creative, and picking somebody out of that like creative area is like very difficult, because art is different to other people, right? So one person hiring might like this style better, and it's a bias towards others, and you're kind of screwed if if the person hiring doesn't like what you do.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden it's just you guys are going to keep conflicting, and then nothing's going to happen, and might result into someone then like not actually working forward with them. But hey, you know what? That happens sometimes. But here at Field, though, you are not just only the Overwatch captain. You also do a lot of other stuff, helping out with the staff team too. Would you like to kind of
crack open all that? Yeah, definitely. So I usually work the chess, the FIFA, the Smash Bros nights on Mondays. Show up to those if you haven't. And then I also do create content on the side for Fuel, like the banners you see on Twitter or like the Instagram posts, stuff like that, match day graphics, all that kind of stuff that kind of like help assist us and put us out there.
What is it like to actually kind of feel being like contributing to the actual Field staff team even as well? Like, yeah, you are on the team as well on the side, but like you're actually really making a name here for Fanshawe Field too.
Yeah, honestly, like at first I was like, okay, this is going to be like a fun little gaming thing. And I realized like this is an actual community we have, right? How can I build upon that, make it better for students who are coming in next, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take over the role as being captain because I want to push people to higher levels, people who might become leaders in the future, right? And I also want to create content that helps like put us out there in general and shows that like even for regular students, we can have like they can have a great time, right?
Yeah. It's actually a lovely thing to see, just the passion that you have behind on wanting to help out and contribute and make those type of posts out there. And also even for Mondays too, when it's like Super Smash Bros, that you could play or FIFA or even chess, and it does gain a fair amount of traction. And honestly, how is it kind of feeling on Mondays to kind of be able to help out and control around with it?
Well, you know, being known by name is weird for everybody. By like a large amount of people is weird for everybody. I took up the Monday shifts because I like talking to people. It's fun. That's why I'm here. I like talking to people, right?
Yeah.
But when it's a bunch of gamers in like one room, they're almost all exactly like you. You can talk to them with ease, and you can really like understand what they're feeling because it's almost like they're kind of like you, right? Like you could talk to a Smash Bros fan for hours because they have so many different characters in those games, right? And you know, they're just chill people in general. Gamers are pretty chill. You can talk to them for a while and definitely like have a good time, which is why I love those Monday night shifts. I get to meet a bunch of different people, returning students, people who aren't even students. Like even a kid showed up. I was talking with that kid for a bit. It was really, really interesting to see different people's perspectives.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's like such a nice, like heartwarming thing to like see though, that even just like a little kid, because maybe down the road all of a sudden he might have interest.
Exactly, definitely.
Here to play.
Yeah, no. And inspiring that next generation of people is one of the things I want to keep in mind like all the time when I'm with Fuel. I want, like I said, I want people to continue to be great leaders. I want people to create content, put us out there, and I want people to like feel inspired, right? To make a cause, right?
Yeah. Especially being able to like geek out and talk to people about video games.
Awesome. It's awesome to do that. It's great.
Plus, it must even like sort of help to kind of help with your own type of concepts when you're going to video game design, like hearing other people's thoughts too,
seeing what they like and stuff, right? What they like hate and everything. It's definitely like the big thing is learning about people. That's what I can take away from Fuel. Learning about people. That's what's really helped me here. Yeah, it's like esports, right? But you're interacting with so many different kinds of people, whether you're like working, playing as a team, or even just like showing up to the room casually. You're interacting, and that's what honestly like feels great here.
Yeah, it is such a great thing how big this community has actually really grown into. But of course, I really want to dig more into some of the video games that you also sort of play. But let's bring it back to what actually sparked your first interest of going into video games. Well, playing video games, not actually going into it. It's not Ready
Video
Player
games
One
as a
yet.
kid, right? So my mom had this boyfriend of hers who always used to play like DS games with me. He introduced games to me. We'd like always play like a little bit of like Zelda on the DS before I went to bed. My mom obviously didn't approve, but he loved doing that. He loved kind of influencing that onto me because it's a great way to pass time. Fast forward a bit, it really helped me through my early childhood years because like I was a bit of like a kid who didn't fit in with the rest. So I kind of turned towards games. They were like my comfort scenario. I played a lot of them growing up. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of made me like start loving it. I started with Nintendo and I've branched out into Xbox, PS4, and PC now, which is where I now like play my game of choice, right?
Yeah. PC is really starting to dominate over
PC Master Race, yeah.
Yeah. It was crazy. Just like all of a sudden it was like this battle of like Xbox, PlayStation, and then everyone's like, well, let's just hop over to PC.
Yeah, PC is probably the best. It's versatile. PC, you can do work, you can watch videos, play games, like it's where it's at, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do got to give it to the man that really influenced me. He would not be the reason, he's the reason why I'm here now, right? Mm-hmm. If you think about it that long term, right? Forking back all those years, like
where it actually
exactly 14 years ago when I was like 5, right? Mm-hmm. Like
just hitting into that sparking moment of where it really came from.
Exactly. It's making me like tear up and stuff.
Yeah. Just like it can make such a big impact to kind of see where things might come into now and see like where even yourself has helped for even getting towards your career.
Yeah, no.
It's a phenomenal thing to see onto that. Because, you know, like even looking back at those games, it's so nostalgic now to think about it.
It's great. It's honestly great. I remember just all those like good memories as a kid playing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like, this is where I was meant to be, and I can definitely feel it.
Yeah, it must be such a great, comforting feeling to have that. And, you know, I like definitely relate with you on the DS sort of thing, like having it like on the side of your bed, and then all of a sudden you like hear the footsteps, and it's like,
oh yeah, I gotta chuck it out. Everybody's parents caught them. At least once. Yeah. Everybody's parents caught them.
Yeah.
We all did that.
Yeah. It was just an easy catch because like, what did we expect? The parents gonna come in and they see this like flashing light underneath a blanket. It's like you're caught red-handed. It was bound to happen.
Oh man, I remember as a kid I forgot to close the DS, so there was just Mario Kart music playing in the background. I was trying so hard to like just lock in and be like, nope, I'm asleep. Mario Kart like race music playing in the background, the shells being shot, like it was over. It's so over.
DS being taken away.
I had my fair share of those, but yeah. No.
But out of all of these years of gaming, what has been like your main favorite game other than Overwatch?
Ooh, I'm in a game design program, right? I have to know about different kinds of games. I've played probably anything you can name, new to even old, like 80s, 90s, all that like kind of stuff. But I think having favorite games definitely is like not generational, but like at different stages of life, you're gonna have your different like favorite games. The one that really impacted me as a kid was like I said, the DS Zelda. I think it was called Spirit Tracks. It was like the Train DS one.
Oh yeah.
And then,
oh my gosh,
when I was like a young kid, I remember playing like a little bit of Fortnite, which kind of got me into like, hey, like the shooters. And then like when I was in early teens, I kind of drifted towards Counter-Strike. And then my friend showed me Overwatch. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. But overall, favorite time game right now, probably I'd say like Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk?
New, yeah, or Baldur's Gate.
Oh,
I'm a sucker for fantasy and sci-fi. It's it's where it's at.
Yeah. And honestly, it's so fascinating how Baldur's Gate was made, and like there's almost like 17,000 different ways that the game can have it as an.
Oh yeah, no, the script apparently was like something like half a person tall on paper or something, and just all the effort they put in was just crazy. 7 years, all the mocap, all the writing, the graphics, like it's insane what they did.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, I can see those story type of based games can be such a fan favorite sometimes.
Yeah.
They're honestly so much like fun because it can kind of be a game that you can come back to play at any time. Like you don't have to like keep trying to be competitive with it.
Exactly.
Like
you need your break, right? You need a break sometimes. You can't just keep grinding comp. Like you're gonna get tilted, you're gonna hate the game, rinse, repeat. You're gonna be like, why am I not climbing? You need to take a break. You need to take a break sometimes, and those single player games are definitely like the comfort pick.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And you make such a great point on that. Like so many people sometimes in esports, for those players, like they are so indulged into just focusing so much onto those
exactly
games.
Yeah, you gotta breathe, if that makes sense. You gotta give yourself a break. You're not gonna climb thinking with the same mindset, right? I have a rule, feel free to follow it. I have a rule where if I lose two or more games, if I lose 3, I'm gonna get off for the day. Something's wrong. It's not, loser's queue doesn't exist. Loser's queue doesn't exist. You just suck. Loser's queue doesn't exist. You just suck. It might not be your day. Just get off.
Yeah.
If you're winning, 10 win streak, keep going, dude. Keep climbing. But the thing that really tilts people is that they don't stop. They feel, oh, this next game, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. But it's not. And you end up losing like 2 ranks. And you're like, well, there's like 2 months of grinding gone in like 2 days.
Just out the window.
It's like, so I think definitely having that not grind set is where it's at.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how you improve.
I'm trying to feel that disconnection a little bit sometimes and break away and go touch grass.
Exactly. Touching the touch grass joke, it makes sense. It's not just a joke, it's the truth. Touch grass, like do something else. Stop grinding. Like,
what do you do actually to kind of step away, just not thinking about games, like any other activities that interest you away from games?
Well, I have a history of doing martial arts. I have stopped that for now because it's college. We're really busy, and I'm in a busy program already, so kind of had to put that on like a hiatus. Used to be martial arts was the pick, but now I kind of just like relax, if that makes sense. I like rot in bed, or like I watch videos on my computer, or even do schoolwork. Because when you do schoolwork, it takes you out of that high focus, like keyboard warrior, and you get to like think in a different perspective, which is definitely like the breather.
Yeah, and you know what, like that's actually still a really good, strong disconnection to have a little bit. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is. Maybe it's you're twiddling your thumbs or something. Just
exactly
from video games. I mean, I think probably maybe not twiddling thumbs, but it could be like cooking or
like
walk your dog.
Yeah,
some small things, right?
Exactly, small things like that. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But let's dive into one of the final questions here. Cheapus.
Okay.
Where did it come from?
Okay. So I had a buddy in high school. His name was Reese. He had a cat named Cheapus, like Jeebus, right?
Oh.
We used to joke about that cat all the time. Like, giant meme, right?
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, that's such a lovely name that you were able to create out of this, and now it's, how long have you had it for?
5 years, somewhere around 5, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Name will probably stick with you. For
It's gonna be the main name. My old name I need to scrap going into high school. It was so embarrassing.
Do you want to slip the name?
Okay,
since
so
you're saying it.
original name. So I used to play like the browser games like Club Penguin, like all that, like Animal Jam kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you would never be able to write your own username. So you had to use like those slider things. So it was originally like Magic Man and then Cop.
Magic Man.
I had to ditch that going into high school. No. So that joke of a username, like Cheapus, it came up at the perfect time. I'm like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta go, bro. So yeah, no, Cheapus is the play now. It has been since like early high school.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
What a way to kind of embark onto this whole new genre of a name.
Oh yeah, no, it was an adventure trying to find my username because I was like going through this generators. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I just took an inside joke with my buddies and memed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's a name that you'll stick with probably for a good lifetime.
Yeah, it's on my jersey, so jersey's gonna stick with me for a while.
Oh yeah.
So.
Like frame it up.
We'll see. If I win at NACC, maybe, but
maybe. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait on that one. But thank you, Cheapus, for being on here. It's been a great interview, and we'll bring it back to the Few Report now.